Looks like we're live.
Three. That's it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gotta Be Handmade Live. I'm Linda. I'm the old bird with Gotta Be Handmade. And today I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining my talk show and tell you about a familiar product to some of us and an amazing artist who creates those products. Now, before we get started, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at Gotta Be Handmade Live. Today, I have joining me Aaron Banks. Bank.
Behnk.
Aaron Bank. Aaron is a handmade artist who creates handmade paper. Hi, Aaron. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor and a pleasure.
I'm so excited to talk with you. Now, today, I'd like to find out a little about handmade paper. I've seen handmade paper, but I know little about it. So, kind of tell us what is the difference between just purchasing paper and purchasing handmade paper?
Well, you know, paper's paper. So,
Okay.
if you're purchasing it, from an art store or from like a large manufacturer, it's pretty much the same concept as, when you're making it from home. It's made from plant material, which can range from, cotton. People think of, papers made from trees. Sometimes it's made from trees, but a lot of it is made. I make my paper from cotton and abaca, which are two really common fibers when it comes to hand paper making, and also with, more commercially manufactured papers as well. And yeah, I mean, you blend it up into a pulp and then, water it down a little bit, put it in a vat, and it's called a slurry. It's a little bit more, watered down. And
Yes.
yeah, it's pulled with a screen and then, cooched onto a piece of fabric, layered, pressed, dried. It's pretty much the same down to just making, one sheet at home versus higher end, more high volume studios to more commercial manufacturers. So yeah, I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
You, you're being um, a little generic because the reason I say that handmade paper looks like no other paper. Handmade paper has the textures of no other papers I've ever seen. They are amazing. You have to be extremely creative to create handmade paper, I would think.
I think anyone can do it, really.
Oh,
Truly, it's so fun, and I would encourage anyone who is interested to try. There's plenty of resources online to learn, and you know, uh, it's easy enough to make it at home. Um, yeah, I don't want anyone
now,
to think that it's too hard, or you have to be too creative or whatever to want to try it. But I appreciate you saying that it takes talent.
it does. Now, what do we do with handmade paper? Tell me some of the things we can do with it. Can we do uh, with handmade paper what we can any other paper?
Yeah, I mean, handmade papers, there's going to be a variety of different qualities to the paper, depending on what
Mhm.
fiber and how you make it. The paper that I make is really good for like printmaking. I do a lot of like wedding invitations that are digitally
Okay.
printed. You can even like put it through your printer. Yeah, it's great for screen printing, pen and ink work. It's a softer paper, so when it comes to like using like a sharp like nib or a pencil, it's not the best for that. But
Okay.
printmaking for sure.
Okay. Now, I know you're creative. I know you've created many types of things. and you stuck with the handmade paper. What made you go into the handmade paper making industry? What about that attracted your interest?
Yeah, well, so I got into it when I was in college. I was studying illustration and I was doing a lot of, sketchbook work, and I had like a different sketchbook dedicated to each class. And a lot of times I would, fill up one halfway through and then abandon it. Or so it started with, cutting out the paper of all these sketchbooks and binding them into books, and then eventually blending the paper, and that's how it started. And
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I like the fact that it's it's not very like subjective, and it's very like engineer oriented. It's like trying to figure out how to make the best piece of paper, and something that is, I as much as I enjoy illustration, it's the subjectivity of it is kind of exhausting, where it's like you can't really argue with the fact that a piece of paper is, quote unquote perfect or not. So that's kind of what I like about it too. I don't know. And yeah, it's just fun. I just enjoy it.
Yes, and I can tell that you're a fun type person. One of the guests joining us, Debbie, is saying that she loves your shirt.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. Urban Outfitters on sale.
Now, Aaron, can you craft with handmade paper? Like I create handmade greeting cards. Could I use handmade paper for those?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and I can custom make any size. I make up to 16 by 20. So I also make like small stationery size. And I do make my own cards. So yeah, I make like, this is like a 5 by 7 sheet, but I make,
Okay.
everything down to like a 2 by 3. This is
Now
like an artist.
the 5 by 7, does
Mhm.
that come in a pack? Do we get a pack of those? How do you sell them?
Yeah, so I have like two listings on Etsy and my website. So I have one where it's like you can just kind of buy things a la carte, like one by one for like samples. And
Okay.
I have like standard sizes listed, but you can request like a custom size. And I do deckled edges, torn edges, and cut edges. So you can kind of build your own mix and match. You can buy them one by one, and then I offer like a bulk discount for, I sell packs of 50 on my Etsy shop, but most people are just sending me a message saying, can I get, 35 sheets or whatever they
I
need. I
got
can
you.
accommodate that, but I sell them 50 packs on my Etsy shop, and then on my website, which is kind of new, I just kind of rebranded. And just kind of like rethought some of structuring my shop. So I have those sold in 10 packs, which I feel like is
Yes.
easier to, get the quantity that you need in, quantities of 10. So those are a little bit discounted. And then, the one by one sample pack are, a little bit more expensive because they're just kind of like one offs. But yeah, I have
Okay.
both.
Now, Aaron, can you show us some of your papers? That what was that? A 5 by 7 piece? Can you
Yeah,
hold it close to the camera so people can see the texture of the
yeah,
handmade
absolutely.
paper?
Yeah, so this is a
That's
deckled
beautiful.
edge. So
Yes.
So the deckled edge pieces are made basically to size. So I use like I have my screen that I make the paper in, and I use just duct tape to kind of make a stencil of the shape, and then I use like a
Okay.
squeegee. I use a squeegee to just kind of clean up the edges and make it like a nice, make sure it's like the right size that it should be. Um, so that's how I
Oh,
make
that's beautiful.
different size of the deckled edges, and then the torn and
Okay.
the cut edges I just cut down from large sheets. So yeah, this is a texture. This is like the screen side that touches like the
Yes.
screen. And then the
Yes.
other side is represents the texture of, I just use like bed sheets that I cut up that I get from like thrift stores. So that's how I layer
Oh,
my
nice.
paper, and then I iron it in between the sheets to, you know, just give it a smoother texture.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay. What else can you share with us? Show us some more of your beautiful papers.
Yeah, so I have some, speaking of cards, I have so I do a lot of like pressed flowers. So I do like pressed flower cards. So this is just
Oh,
like a
that is
card,
gorgeous.
and then yeah, so it comes with an envelope. So I do a lot of these like pressed flower cards. I just like go around and collect flowers around and acquire them in different ways and then press them. I'll put like the most perfect ones on cards, and I'll
Yes.
floral paper like mixed into the pulp and stuff like that. Um, so when I have,
Now, Aaron,
I can put in the,
the envelopes, are they made from handmade paper as well?
absolutely, yeah, it's all the same, kind of handmade
Oh,
paper, and this is
oh my goodness.
a deckled edge envelope, and I'll make the shape of the envelope, I'll duct tape it out on the screen and you know do it the same way that I would make the sheets. So that's how I make the envelope shapes.
That is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen an envelope made from handmade paper. That's beautiful. Now, do you sell just the envelopes?
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah, and you can buy those one by one or for a pack. Like a lot of people will want like, their wedding invitations to have like the handmade paper envelope as well as to match the handmade paper.
Yes.
So
Okay. Now, behind you, I see a stack of handmade papers. Can we purchase the stack, the whole package?
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean whatever quantity you want, if you want 50, if you want 49, if you want 200, yeah, you can either order through my Etsy or my website shop or just shoot me a message. And um, so usually it's like around like 2 to 3 weeks for like a stack. I think this is around probably like 50, maybe a little bit
Now,
more.
what would the price be for the 50?
So the 5x7s, 50 is like $60.
Okay.
So yeah, my the deckled edge 5x7s are $1.20 each.
Okay.
And this is about half that size. It's like RSVP, like 3.5x5 approximately. So though these are 80 cents each. Um,
Oh man, that is really reasonable. That's beautiful.
yeah, I mean those prices are pretty close to like other paper makers who I've found online who are doing something similar. I tried to do my best to kind of crunch the numbers and figure out, what am I spending? How much time am I spending? How much overage am I wasting? What are people willing to pay? And then I also, once I do that, then I kind of do my research and see how it compares to other shops. And
Yes.
yeah, when it's nice to see that it's kind of on par with that too. So I feel like I'm, you know, making a good judgment when it comes to pricing.
Okay. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Aaron, we have a couple of people online with us. And Aaron, you said you have a new website.
I
What
do.
what's the link to your website?
Yeah. So my new business name is it's Loose Leaf Handmade. So it's like loose leaf paper, and then it's like leaves because I use a lot of like pressed flowers and leaves and stuff like that. So yeah, it's looseleafhandmade.com, and on Instagram it's at looseleafhandmade. And yeah, this is. I'll show you something.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
And this is my logo. It's
Okay. And
so it's a
that's on
leaf.
that beautiful paper.
It is, yeah. So it's a leaf that I just like made like a ink like print of, and then I, put my hand over top to kind of make a loose leaf handmade thing. And so I ended up using this for my logo. So yeah,
That's
look
wonderful.
for
Now,
this.
now everybody, immediately following the broadcast, I will place the links to Aaron's new website. Please go over and visit it, and to his Etsy shop as well as his Instagram. Please follow Aaron on his Instagram. And Aaron, I'll be following you as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I just gave you a follow, so it's great to connect. I really
Thank
appreciate.
you.
Yeah,
And somebody's saying the logo is beautiful. Pretty logo.
thank you.
Aaron, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I uh, I I just know how many people are out there, doing their thing, and there's the online community is just so so vast. I can't believe you found me. So I'm glad that you did, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to come on here and be featured, and share some of my work. So thank you so much.
No problem. What an honor meeting you. I am a fan of your papers. I think they are amazing. And anybody that has never seen handmade paper, please visit Aaron's Etsy shop and you can zoom in on the papers and see the difference. If you are creative and you need products, contact Aaron. He said he does custom orders. Aaron, I'm a fan. Please continue making your handmade products. I hope your handmade papers flourish.
Thank you so much. I love doing it, and yeah, I've had success because I love doing it, and I do it day in and day out, and people can tell how much I love it, and they love it too
Yes,
because that's
yes.
just how it goes.
That's right. And somebody's saying you're going to get another follower today.
I appreciate it. That's great. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Aaron, and everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please follow Aaron. I'm going to place the links in the feed immediately following the broadcast. If you have not subscribed to the Gotta Be Handmade YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel and like my vlog posts there. I think you'll get a smile from them, as well as you can see these amazing interviews with amazing handmade artists. I'm Linda. I'm the old bird with Gotta Be Handmade. I bring attention to handmade artists through my social media platforms. Again, thank you, Aaron.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you, everybody. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.
Bye now.